Hey everyone, so today's video is another chopping block. So I'm going to be introducing to you some products that I kind of want to declutter, but I'm not really sure and I don't want to regret decluttering them. So I just want to try them out a little bit more. That's what this little series is for. I do have a few other videos or episodes of this series that I've already done. So I will have that playlist linked in the description box. But basically, I'm going to be introducing the products that I picked that I may want to declutter. I just want to get some more use out of them. So I usually film the intros to these videos and then I will film an update about a month or so later, just however long it takes me to decide whether or not I want to declutter these products. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it. The first product is this mineral veil powder from Bareminerals, and I did actually get this from my sister because she just wasn't using it and I haven't used it yet. So I want to use this, see if I like it, how I like it. I also have a ton of products or a ton of powders in my collection already, so I don't necessarily want to add another powder to my collection, but she wasn't using it. She was just gonna throw it out. So I figured I would take it, and I've heard really good things about this powder. So it might be really, really good and I might love it, but I don't tend to be too picky with my powders. So I'm not really sure about this one. We'll see if I end up deciding to declutter it or not. Next, for highlighters, this was the sort of main category that sparked my, not interest, but made me want to film another one of these chopping block videos because I just have so many highlighters in my collection and it might not be a ton to you guys depending on, obviously everyone has different amounts of products in their collection, but I just feel overwhelmed by my highlighting collection. I feel like I'm not getting use out of them and I don't know my highlighting collection as well as I know my bronzer collection. So I feel like I may want to declutter some highlighters. So the first one is this Laura Geller highlight in the shade Gilded Honey, which is like a classic. This used to be raved about. This is like an OG YouTube product, but I got this in a set on Poshmark. It was like a little bundle with a bunch of mini highlighters. So this is just a mini, which I do love mini products, but I've used this maybe 2 or 3 times since I got it, and I got it probably years ago. So I just want to use this, see if I like it. It is a very, very gold highlight, which I don't love, and I feel like I already have a lot of gold highlights in my collection, so I feel like I just don't need another one. So this is one I'm just questionable about, and I feel like I may end up decluttering. I just want to use it a few more times. And then next I have a couple more highlighters, and I feel like I may have included one of these highlighters in one of my previous chopping blocks now that I'm thinking about it, but anyways, I have this Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in the shade On the Cusp, which was in one of the Kathleen Lights collections, and I debated, I think this may have been the one that was in a previous chopping block, but I debated whether or not to declutter it because it kind of looks glittery, but I feel like it doesn't show up glittery on the cheeks. Anyways, I just have to use it a little bit more. It's also a little bit of a deeper shade, but it still works on my skin tone, I feel like. But I'm just not sure about this one, and I also just tend not to reach for these Super Shock formula type of products. So we'll see about that one. And then a similar product, but from a different brand, is this Space Case Cosmetics highlight in the shade Seen from Space, which I feel like is a lot more of a unique highlight. It's like a gold greenish sort of tone, but it's like a very, I don't know, pale gold. I'm so bad at describing shades, but I just want to use this a little bit more. Like I said, I tend not to reach for these Super Shock kind of putty products, and this is literally exactly the same formula as the Colourpop ones. It's like that exact same Super Shock texture. So I just want to try these out a little bit more, see how I like them, and I don't really know why I don't reach for these because I apply them like any other normal powder highlight, even though they are creams. But I feel like I just tend not to reach for my highlights, which is why I'm including so many in this little choppy block, because I do want to declutter some of them. I feel like these ones are the ones that I reach for the least, and I just I don't necessarily want to reach for these. I don't find myself wanting to use them. So I'm gonna try them out a little bit more and see which ones I want to declutter. The next one is a powder bronzer, and this again is one that I find myself just not wanting to reach for, and I kind of want to just throw it out because it is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Bronzer, and I repressed the two lightest bronzer shades into this compact. So these are two bronzers put together, so there's a ton of product in here. It looks kind of like weird, but it does work perfectly fine. I just feel like I don't need this in my collection. Obviously, this was in a face palette previously that I did declutter, and it was really, really old. Like, I probably had that face palette since 2016. So I might just end up throwing this out because, first of all, it is so old. I don't have the face palette anymore, obviously. So I don't necessarily just want this sitting in my collection because I know I'm not going to use it, and it's in just like this broken packaging from a previous product that I had. So I'm going to try this out a little bit more. If I really, really love it, I will keep it, but this is one I will most likely declutter. Then I have a couple eyeshadow products. So this is the Kathleen Lights and Colourpop pigment in the shade The Line, and this is just like a goldish pigment, and I just tend not to reach for golds, but I want to try this out a little bit, see if I like it. I might declutter it because I do have 4 shades of this, and I feel like I might just prefer the other shades that I have in these pigments, and I don't reach for my pigments a ton, so I feel like I don't want to keep 4 of them. Next, we have a little palette that I actually created with my single shadows. So a little while back, I decluttered a bunch of my single shadows, and I kind of took the remaining shadows that I had and put them into these 4-pan palettes that I had from Colourpop. And I just sort of curated my own little 4 pans. This was like the neutral goldish one. And obviously it has 3 mattes and a metallic in here, and I'm just not sure whether or not I want to keep this. Obviously there are neutrals, and I feel like I have a lot of these shades in my eyeshadow palettes, and because these are singles, I feel like I just, first of all, tend not to reach for them, and just don't necessarily need them in my collection if I have them in other palettes. And also they are very neutral, so I just don't need more neutral shades in my collection. I also just tend not to reach for golds, like I said, with that Colourpop pigment. So I want to try this out a little bit, see if I actually like the way gold looks on me or not. And I just want to see how I feel about this palette, and I may end up decluttering these singles, or I may declutter some of these singles and keep others, and maybe compare this to the other singles I have in my collection before I declutter this whole palette. Next, I have a couple lip products, and I do have way too many lip products in my collection, which is why I'm also currently doing a lip product usage project. And so that is helping me get use out of all of my lip products and potentially declutter some that I just don't like the way they look on me. But these are 2 that I've just been debating whether or not to declutter. So the first one is a Colourpop Lippie stick. This one is in the shade At Twilight. This was like the newest one in my collection. All my other ones were super old, so I decluttered all the other Colourpop Lippie sticks that I had, and I only kept this one obviously because it was newer, so it's not like gone bad or anything. And I just have not used this, so I just want to try it out. It is just like a nude color, so I feel like I might just end up keeping it and trying to go through it instead of just decluttering it. But there is a ton of product in these, and I feel like someone else could get more use out of this than I will because it hasn't been used very much. And I feel like I just won't reach for this because I don't support Colourpop anymore, and I know I just won't reach for this product over my other lipsticks. And then the last product I have here is one of my NYX butter glosses, and I love this formula so much, but I have like 6 or 7 shades in this. This one is the shade Vanilla Cream Pie, and it's just like a really bright pink shade, so I'm not sure if I need this in my collection because I just tend not to reach for it. All the other shades I have in this are just like really nude and neutral shades. So this is the one I definitely reach for the least. So I just want to try it out, see how it looks on my lips. If it's really this bright pink on my lips, I probably will declutter it. But yeah, this is the one I've definitely gotten the least use out of all of my butter glosses. So I just want to try this out a little bit more and see if I want to declutter it. But that is it for this chopping block. I will do the update for this probably in about 3 or 4 weeks. So let me know down below in the comments if you enjoy these videos and would like to see me continue to do them. But if you did enjoy it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I do post new videos 3 times a week. So if you want to see more from me, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified every time I post. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.